touch no money, you ain't bred with it. I don't even wanna, I'm just here get it. Bad, she don't go mode. Throw it back and let me shoot it on the GoPro. Yeah, she don't go mode. Yeah, she don't go mode. Big shooters, they don't go mode. Spin the block and creep again in slow mo. Yeah, they don't go mode. Yeah, they don't go mode. Okay, neck full of Fiji, it's leaky. I'm f***ing up the money like it's freaky, it's easy. Can't move cheap, leave me back outside, no teeth.
欢迎诸位呢回到我们新庄体育馆。那今天呢是我们3月的最后一场赛事，但其实呢这一周呢，有3连战，所以呢这一周好好的跟大家见面一下。我是今天的主持人，球给彭尊的彭尊。
我是你们今天的主持人，我的名字叫汉地汉德利。现场所有新北国王的粉丝们 ，Everybody make some noise！All right。我们呢，今天新北国王在我们新庄城堡举行了球衣主题日。当大家看到我跟彭尊还有我们 DJ 身上呢，我们都穿着新北国王今年的不同的这个球衣颜色球衣，
不能穿一样的，今天不能穿一样。
对，今天终于给我们逮到机会，2个可以穿点稍微不一样的球衣了，来搭配自己的穿搭以及穿着，来为我们新北国王应援以及加油。那我们也邀请呢诸位身上可以穿上最喜欢的 Kings 或 Queens 的球衣进场，只要呢你身着我们国王的球衣，就可以享有主场商城的各种优惠。进场时呢，更别忘了把票根呢投入位于球衣客制化摊位的摸彩箱。为什么呢？因为我们今天呢将随机选出一位非常幸运的球迷朋友，可以获得呢我们新北国王全队的签名球衣。
那中场呢？如果有没有获得到中场，还有其他的机会。那我们今天中场是球衣抱枕抛投大赛。我们会找到8位呢幸运的球迷来比赛一下，看谁能够丢到最接近 logo。那第1名呢可以获得 Quincy Davis 的签名球衣1件。
没错，所以呢大家记得一定要把握机会，我们中场游戏呢也千万不要错过。那当然呢，在我们每一场主场的比赛，我们将随机抽选一位幸运的球迷，可以在我们该场赛事结束后的1个月期间内呢，前往 Lululemon 任意门市进行产品体验，并且可以带走价值等值8000元的商品。所以请各位务必留好你们的票根，让我们呢今天会抽出那一位幸运的得奖者。讲了这么多呢，在我们精彩的比赛开始之前，让我们先用最大的暴动声欢迎新北国王啦啦队 Queens 所带来的开场表演。
Let's go。
All right, DJ Sound, drop the quiz.
Baby mama booty, ghetto booty, big booty, all booty.
Who else got an ass like this? Who else floating back like this? What else make them act like this? What else make them act like this? Yeah, I know you like my booty, 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 booty. Yeah, I know you like my booty, 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 booty. Yeah, I know you like my
black tummy and my shade tee. 1 in 99 reason bitches hate me. Love it when I poke it out and act fake sleep. Hit it from the back, making beats like Takey. Girl, hit it, love it. I'ma shake it like dice. Wrapped around my finger, eat booty from the pipe. Booty make it cry, booty make a nigga swipe. Booty walk him in the store and tell him hurry up and buy. Shake what your doctor gave ya. It's a lot of bitch wishing they could see me there. Shake what your doctor gave ya. I'ma make him pay the second second round of this PBL.
Who else got an ass like this? Who else throw it back like this? What else make them act like this? What else make them act like this?
Yeah, I know you like my
Booty, 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 booty. Yeah, I know you like my booty, 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 booty.
Yeah, I know you like my
Booty, 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 bootylicious. Booty make 'em cook, booty make 'em do the dishes. Booty, booty, make 'em wanna turn me to his missus. Booty, booty, make 'em wanna give me all his riches. Booty, 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 booty. Yeah, I know you like my booty, 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 booty. Yeah, I know you like my.
全场尖叫声给我们新北国王啦队 New Taipei Queens。
新北国王目前是联盟胜率最高的主场，多亏有各位呐喊和能量。今天呢，我们在城堡迎接桃园璞园领航员，精彩的比赛即将开始。首先为各位介绍客队桃园璞园领航员篮球队，1号丁恩迪，15号陈冠全，21号陈立焕，22号黄宏涵，25号林正，27号张振雅，30号白耀成，0号陈玉瑞。接下来为各位介绍领航员先发5人 Starting Five：4号艾尔斯，12号李家康，13号 Sonny，28号施晋尧，69号吴俊祥。总教练卡米诺斯，助理教练迪亚哥、杨一峰、黄启峰，总经理陈信安。所有的国王球迷朋友们，把你们目光一致，上方大荧幕，排赛可以跟着节奏一起敲打。新北国王，首先进场的是 Number 2， 来自台湾师大，苏喜林世轩。Number 4， 来自世新大学，禁卫军御膳大厨李威霆。Number 9， 全能后场指挥官。新北国王玫瑰李凯燕 ，Number 10， 禁卫军弓箭手微笑射手简佑哲 ，Number 3， 来自国立体大小命陈俊南。Number 50， 来自政治大学小豪曾宇豪。Number 13， 最强击球老板杨新志。Number 50， 禁卫军门神护国神 Q 昆斯 Davis。接下来为各位介绍新北国王先发5人 Starting Five。Number 1， 就这样被你征服1-on-1 ，Joseph 年糕 Cannon Medical。Number 17， 我大苏喜苏世学。Number 25， 来自政治大学 Omar 小 Q 牛马。Finally, Number 6， 禁卫军士官长，新北南美主战士杨志明。中间拉马项助选马卡佩拉许浩成，体能教练刘振宇，首席体能教练张崇熙，数据分析师林振宇，球队经理洪志虎，防务员邱博凯、吴崇豪，总经理毛家恩，执行长陈信生。
好的，现场的所有新北国王的球迷朋友们，现在呢要来到我们的应援时间啦。好，这边呢我们用最大的包装声欢迎我们新北国王的啦队 New Taipei Queens 一起来到场上，一起为我们新北国王加油应援。All right。好的，我们的新北国王啦队 New Taipei Queens 也到我们的场上了。那呢，我们第一个，我们有3个东西要教给大家。第一个呢，就是我们防守的时候，也就是我们的 defense。All right， DJ 上，我们一起来防守吧 ，Let's go！ 全场一起 ，defense。好的，以上呢就是我们的 defense。那接下来呢，就是我们进攻的时候，也就是 Let's go Kings。All right, DJ Song, just some sauce. Let's go Kings. Let's go Kings. Let's go Kings. Let's go Kings. 好的。以上呢就是我们的 defense 跟 Let's Go Kings。那当然呢，等一下呢，看到我们的辛苦工作人员呢，把我们的旗子举起来，绕着场边跑的时候呢，在我们开始的时候，绕着场边跑的时候，我们也希望呢，所有的观众朋友呢，经过你旗子经过你的时候，可以把你们的双手举起来，或者是短暂的站起来一下，玩个波浪舞也可以。但是现在呢，没关系，先让我们一起来听听我们新北国王的主题曲。这边呢，我们需要你们把双手举起来，接着我们一起左右摆动。OK， DJ 上，让我们播放我们新北国王的主题曲《Crown the City》。Everybody put your hands up in the air. Say what, say what.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youths. We've saved the best of Saint-Laurent to last. Welcome to the 10th edition of Plus League Tuesday Night Basketball. The new Taipei Kings are one win away from being the first team to clinch a playoff spot this season in the Plus League, while the Pauian Pilots are trying to turn around a 1-8 stretch. There's the standings on your screen as we close out the month. The Kings continue to be in first place for the 7th straight week. The Braves have won the last 3 out of 5 since returning from EASL action. Pilots have been struggling since the Lunar New Year's break, and we'll get into that in a moment. Dreamers have a comfortable hold on the last playoff spot if the season ended today. The Lions' season slide has only hastened in recent days, while the Steelers, playing in Spider, just hanging on to the playoff host by a thread. On the Mandarin broadcast is Xiaohu, Wu Junqi, and Aaron Yang Zhenlei. 球迷朋友们，你找到了 Plus League 的英文转播。要看小胡跟郑磊的奖品，当然就按到中文的连接。那谢谢你的收看，记得离开前要按个赞。但谢谢你的收看，我们继续再播。I'm Ryan Chen. You play as always. Darren Portell on the color commentary. Welcome back.
Thank you, Ryan, and I'm looking forward to tonight's game between the Kings and the Pilots.
Well, like we said, kind of the bigger note is both teams not exactly at full strength or playing in the form they want to. On the side of the Pilots, we talked about their struggles after the Lunar New Year's break. They've actually made an adjustment that they haven't done since the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, the Kings, the English broadcast haven't been able to broadcast it, but they're out without Byron Mullins for a little bit of a stretch with a leg injury, and by the registration deadline, they were not able to get the paperwork in and get their third import ready to go. So two teams right now in a little bit of a in flux, while they actually will match up with each other throughout the next 4 games.
Yeah, so the Kings with Byron out are going to have to rely on some of the guys that have to come off the bench and rely on the minutes and the point production from them. And then the Pilots are really going to have to look to turn around and play a little bit better ball. Again, looking maybe to play some players that haven't played in a while and just generate some activity in that lineup.
Pre-game, we caught up with Coach Camino.
When seasons go on, always the teams prepare better in the scouting. We play a lot of times against repeating teams, so it's a moment that my main idea last week is try to improve the spacing of the players, try to find and to understand good how the other teams are defending us, and be working on the rules that other teams are putting against us to really make them understand where they can find good spots, where they can have the best shots that we can. And especially this is the main idea. Try to be looking up for a good shot, looking for the best shot that we can have. And then it's going to have a chance to have better percentage. More than a player is about a team, especially when you have too many games close. We have 9 games, we won 3, we lost 6. More than about one player, it's about all the players that are on the floor. Read the defense on that moment. I think that we have a guy like Chen, like Justin, that especially on the future and the talent that he have, and on the way that he wanted to play, because he wanted to take these decisions. That is a guy that can be on these spots. He had games making points, like a game against Braves, scoring 10 points in a row, and he showed this mentality. But it's not about one player, because if it's only one, defense can adapt. So it's about the team. And especially it's about an habit of winning these games when the players take the confidence, when they really feel strong. Case of Kings, that they win 5 games close, they lose only 2. Is an example about on the moment that the season is going, how some teams, not only players, can find these feelings. And unfortunately for us, we had some games that we lose, and maybe the team at that moment felt a little bit hurt.
Interesting that he pointed out number 69, Lu Junxiang, who, of course, is one of their scoring leaders on the team. But if you want him to also be a creator, that's not exactly a part of his game. That's something he's working on. He's currently at 1.11 assist to turnover ratio. But Coach Camino's made an interesting point that I like to bring up, especially coming out of the collegiate finals, is reading what the defense gives you. That is something that most younger players have struggled, and the Pilots do have a number of younger guys in their rotation.
Yeah, the read and react is an offense that, you really have to understand what the defense is giving you, and then once you figure that out, then you react accordingly, and depending on where they are in their positioning will determine on what you do. So I mean, it's really important that they understand that.
There's the recent 11 games where the Pilots only 2-9, they score 82 points per game. Of course, not nearly as high as the league average of 90. They are a much better defensive team, but as Coach Marchand will also share, offense and defense is what makes up the equation in basketball. You can't just have purely a good defense. The Pilots did and still do have an elite defense, but sometimes that confidence will go from both ends of the floor.
Right, you know, you can have good defense, but if you're not scoring on the offensive side and that shooting percentage goes down, you know, you're not going to win games. And so, yeah, you can have a good defense, but you still have to be able to score.
On the other side, Coach Marchand.
That's the most important thing, make more shots. But obviously through practice, working on our spacing, working on our offense, working on our timing, I don't believe in the old saying, you play good defense, you're going to win. It obviously helps you. You need to play good defense to win games, but if you can't score the ball, it's not going to give you a chance. So for our guys not having Byron, it changes our offense a little bit. We have different guys who obviously aren't as good as scorers at that high level, so being able to work on that more, get more reps in practice, get more shots up, working on our timing and spacing, that's really important for us. Obviously, getting different guys more experience is important. You never know in a really important game when it gets down to it who you're going to use. If somebody gets injured, if someone gets technical foul, someone gets kicked out of the game, someone gets in foul trouble, someone gets tired, hurt, anything. So I think getting some of our younger guys a little bit more experience. You know, they've been waiting, they're hungry to play. So there's going to be a little bit of growing pains with that through these times, but I think the more that we get to see them, give them some confidence, give them some experience, it readies them for those more important situations down the line.
That was Coach Marchand in his second year manning the head of the new Taipei Kings. Now, two particular players that will start the game I want to talk about is number 17, James Su-Su-Shen, who's kind of a highly touted guy. He's definitely supposed to get a lot more rotation minutes. The other one is Omar Nioma getting his third start in a row. There you see on screen is the Kings' recent stretch where they're scoring 88, giving up 91, particularly they're scoring inside the paint only 30 points, whereas with Byron Moans, 42 points per game. He's obviously an elite shooter in our league, but be able to present a threat inside will give the shooters their opportunities, as the offense likes to work inside and out. Well, Pang Honghan will be the crew chief of tonight's officiating staff. Just in a second, we'll bring you the starting lineups for Portell. With the Pilots, they'll be starting with both in Morris, Jeffrey Ayers, Sunny Sakakini, switching out Jackie Lee Jiakang and Justin Wutrichang. And on the King side, it's Omar versus Su-Su-Shen, Amigo Joseph Lin, and Kenny Manigault. So guarding Joseph Lin is number 12, Lee Jiakang, who only got to play for the first time this season in that last game against the Steelers. Joseph Lin open for three, splashes it.
That's a good start for the Kings right there with that open look by Joseph in the corner.
Sakakini, he's open for the easy lay-in, assist to Ayers. Kenny Manigault will try from three. It's down. He's been improving those three-point shooting.
Kings are sticking with the perimeter offense in the first two possessions. Luckily, their shots have went in 2 for 2 on the three-point shots.
Not on the same page. It'll be a turnover by the Pilots. It's a 6-2 start as Zijiao, we called for the kickball. Manigault was breaking open underneath.
It's a nice look for the backdoor cut. The foot got in the way on the block. Good vision there to see that backdoor.
Hand off to Joseph Lin. Zijiao, tasked with guarding Manigault, gets the tap. And now it's the Pilots on the offense. Ayao, along with Justin and Ayers, not have a great shooting tonight against the Steelers. They go inside. Sunny will draw the foul. Looks like they'll get it baseline out of bounds.
Imagine we may see a little bit more action down low without Byron being in the game today. The bigs for the Pilots knowing that he's not there, have a little bit more options when they get down in the paint.
Sakakini is 16 points per game scorer for the Pilots. On the defensive end, with him and Ayers a little bit more big, so they're not going to match up against Kenny Manigault. They're leaving that job to Sichinyao, and presumably other locals will get their turn at the very athletic number 55. But like you said, the previous play, Ayers was the passer, and a local was screening for Sakakini. Probably see that a lot. Lee Jiakang trying to apply some pressure on Joseph Lin. To Omar, the left hand, no. Omar, number 25, and on the other side, number 27, Zhang Zheya and Andy are three Tsinghua University graduates, and their university just won the UBA title for the third consecutive year the night before. Ayers will try from deep, but it's in and out. Manigault quickly in transition will get stopped. They say Ayers was still out of bounds and did not establish. Kings will get it out of the baseline, 16 seconds on the shot clock. If not for the trade, number 11, KJ Honkai-je is also a notable Tsinghua University alum, or even the first guy who did win a title, number 9 for the Lioneers in Kian. Sushi, deep two, knocks down. Looking back door, and Manigault sneaks in there for the steal. A little 2-on-2. He gets the lay-in in the transition. Another turnover on the pass as Manigault takes on Ayers, but they call a foul. Trying to plead his innocence with the ball. It's going to be another team foul.
Yeah, I think those two trips down the court just showed exactly how the Pilots need to read what the defense is giving them and then reacting. With the pressure that the Kings are putting on the Pilots, they might need to respond a little bit differently. Get rid of the ball a little bit quicker or make a little bit different cut. Again, just understanding what the defense is offering you.
First free throw missed, though, for Kenny. In the last game against the Dreamers, 32 minutes played, 20 points and 21 rebounds. Gets an A+ for effort. So would like the team to come out with a W. Watch out for him playing the ghost position as Wu Zhang gets a free lane to the basket.
Nice screen down there by Sunny to open up that lane for Justin.
Getting the screen for Omar. Yang Jimin floating to the right, no problem. That's one thing that the Pilots aren't exactly very traditional in, as Jackie's short with that three. Under head coach Caminos, they don't exactly push the pace nearly as fast as other Taiwanese teams want to. Omar on the block. They swing it right to Marchand. I think his playing days are, competitive playing days are a little bit further behind.
Yeah, and I don't think he has the proper equipment and uniform on either to get out there and play. I've seen him shoot, though. I imagine he can make a shot or two.
Marchand even had a little friendly trash talk in a suit and tie. Ayao over the air from the left side this time. Kings will push it up ahead.
It's interesting that the Pilots are keeping it outside now after they had the first attempt in the paint.
Amigo to James making one, but to Omar. Good idea, but they say the defense played it clean. Sonny back in the left side this time. He made 4 threes in his debut, and it'll be a foul on the rebound. Sakakini, the player down, and Omar the one shrugging his shoulders. A little bit too easy there. That'll be now 3 team fouls on the Kings.
Would be nice if the guards look down, get the ball down in the paint to Ayers when he has that positioning down there in that low post on the block. They decided to take the 3 instead.
Justin guarded by Manigal. Sabatini spins on Sushi and powers it home.
That was just an overpowering play right there by Sani, like you said. Gave him a little shoulder, got the spacing, and he was able to make the layup.
Nice double team. They caused a turnover on Amigo. In the last game against the Dreamers, Amigo just 11 points. Way below his average of 15 on the season, and certainly his MVP season. 2 go at Sonny. He finds Jackie on the right side this time. It's tricked. Guess that first start magic is kind of out. Joseph Lynn, nice move to Kenny from the left corner. Oh.
Yeah, definitely on the offensive boards, the Kings are missing Byron. They're gonna have to get in there and really, as soon as that shot goes up, put a body on somebody. Get positioning for those rebounds.
A double dribble, they say, on Ayers as the 2 teams will go to the benches. That's our first break in the game. We'll be right back to PLG Tuesday Night Basketball after this. Taipei Queens finished their first quarter performance wearing the rose gold jerseys as some Pilots crew members sit nearby. Now I looked it up. The Pilots are only, let's see, they are 12-6 against the standings bottom 3 teams. But 5 of those losses all coming in a row in the recent weeks. Now, of course, we mentioned they're playing the Kings, who are the #1 team in the league. But right now, whoever they're playing, their form is not quite in the right place where they want it to be.
Right, just having a little bit of a struggle. And after that mid-season 10-game winning streak, they're struggling here in the last several games. And so, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to play the Kings in the next 3 out of 4 games. And so they're going to really have to put it together in order to maintain their positioning in the standings.
It's Big Sushi from the corner. He rattles it in.
You don't have to worry about the rebounding inside if you make those 2s and 3s like that. It's a good look by Big Sushi.
Down to Sonny. They give Jackie a lot of space. He throws it down and passes it into a turnover. Good read by the defense. It's Amigo calling for the ISO on Ayao. Pull up in the middle, it dances off the rim. Now it's not the end-all be-all, but the Pilots have turned it over a high number of times so far in the game. In fact, the number is 4. Ayo tries to deep, but it's out.
Again, those turnovers goes to being able to read the defense and reacting accordingly.
Daniel just gets the pass off, and Sushi a little bit too much on that one. Jackie screening for Sunny, getting a little space. He's gonna go to the middle, but it's in and out. One thing for the Pilots, they are currently 0 for 5 shooting the 3 ball. Crossover by Joe, he hits it. Meanwhile, the Kings are currently maintaining a high percentage. That basket makes him 7 for 13 as Ayers scores down low.
That's the first opportunity that he's had to get the ball down in the post and do something with it. He was able to finish. So I wonder if they'll just keep going back to him. There's definitely a size difference between him and Andy, or him and Omar down in the paint.
A little bit of a group hug underneath as Sonny Sakakini was fouled on the layup. Certainly finding the Pilot staff down there. See Omar reach down and Manny go kind of push him there, but also help him from crashing into somebody. They'll go to the bench as Quincy Davis and 2 other Kings will check in. Q has, in the 3rd season, played his highest number of minutes in the last 2 games, of course in Byron Mullins' absence.
Yeah, knowing that you have Quincy coming off the bench and you can use him is a plus definitely for the Kings. With his experience, and he can get into a time where he does have the ability to score. So going down the stretch without Byron, they may have to rely on him a little bit more.
Sakakini only 1 for 2 as Pong Pong in the mix. Can't secure the rebound though. Number 9, Kyle Lee Cayenne. That one go to the backcourt. Referee say play on. Joseph finding space, overshooting Yang Xingzi, who had more space than he thought.
Yeah,
which is what Joseph's trying to tell him. But he probably used to playing up against a lot bigger imports. Probably figured he needed to make more space.
He also had Quincy on the opposite side coming in. I'll cut through on the high pick and roll also. Got 2 options there.
Helping as Sonny misses the mid-range. Foul in transition. They say it's on Ethan.
Yeah, you got to give him that space to be able to make that transition from the catch to the dribble, and he just didn't give him that room.
They do have fouls to give, and given Joseph's dribbling prowess, not necessarily the worst thing in the world to make him take it out of the back. Well, Kyle's going to lead the break this time. Hong Han guarding. And now it's JJ, number 10, calling the play. He's out of Jiangxing University, who was the runner-up in the UBA competition, having defeated Taoyuan Normal University on Saturday for losing their eventual chance. Quincy Davis misses the finger roll. Pilots 3.5 to go, trying to close in on a 6-point deficit. Can't beat Q off the dribble, so it's Justin. Back to Sonny. To the runner, and it's off.
Looks like he lost the ball going up, wasn't able to get control of it before that shot. Just sort of prayed that it went in.
Nice jab step, but the 3 is missed by Joe.
The Kings are really struggling on the offensive rebounds if they miss those shots, and so they need to start making those shots if they want to continue doing well, because they just don't have the bodies to put on the boards.
Sonny so close, but no. Over to Xingzi, as open as he can be. No help on the backside.
Nice backside cut.
Kings were held to under 20 in 3 out of the 4 quarters against the Dreamers. Now they're on defense as the pass over the head of Sakakini. That's where it's important as the defense to stay attached, not let him have an easy catch radius as Ayers will check in for him. Here's the easy screen and roll and nobody on the backside.
Nice look.
Screen for Q, who's seen his 3-point percentage drop in the 3rd season. Xiaoming, Tenchunan will take the long two pull-up halfway down and out. One thing that the Kings are doing a great job is matching up, not giving the Pilots those transition options, unlike that one Justin layup.
They are able to slow the ball down and then set up their defense. They've actually been playing well on the defensive side, actually. Pilots have not had really any open shots to speak of, and so they're putting a little pressure on them on this offensive end.
So 0 for 6 shooting the 3 ball, throwing 6 turnovers. That's how you hold a team to 11. Calvin breaks the seal. He knocks down the 3.
Right before the start of the game, Calvin was out getting his 3 warm-ups, and he was making them consistently in between the 3-point line and midline, so he's feeling it.
Xingzi down low. He can't get the layup, but the whistle is calling for the foul. Looks like the Kings bench was pretty agitated, anticipating no call, but they helped out number 13. He'll earn it, try to earn it from the line. Can't get the generous bounce. Yang Xingzi last year, his first year with the Kings, actually had to fill in for a big position, whether as a starter or as the only big sometimes with Thomas Welsh out. It was 0 for 2 that time. Oh, with a minute to go, the Pilots only down by 5. Need to string together some good possessions. Calvin with a little bit of space, putting it up on target, no whistle. Quickly in transition, a little 4-on-5. Xiaoming, Xingzi, but they need to find somewhere else. Kyle, doubled in the corner. Looks like he'll dribble it out of bounds.
Well, they trapped him in the corner, which is a place you do not want to be, and they were able to get the turnover.
Last time Ayers smartly trapped, it was on the sideline for a Migo turnover. Like you said, the corner makes it even that much harder to get out of trouble.
Use that sideline as a 3rd defender.
Manigal tries to jump the steal. A foul from behind, they say.
A
little bit unlucky over there as Calvin sneaks in a free throw practice.
He just wants to find his range before he actually has to shoot it.
A veteran who's played on now his 3rd plus league team, making the 1st. Formerly played in Pauian and Taipei of the SBL. To add to his resume, he goes 2 for 2. Manigal will run the point for now. He does lead the team with 6 assists per game. Xiaobai jumps out on him, and they get another screen. Trying to get the layup over Ayers. Taps it to himself. 9 seconds left. They have a little 2-on-2 going. Now 4 seconds, Xiaobai to Calvin from way deep, but it's blocked. That'll be the end of the 1st quarter. The Pilots and Kings match up on a Tuesday night. We'll be back after this.
国王球衣的朋友呢，才有机会呢被我们的大荧幕捕捉。所以呢，现在赶快换上我们的球衣，跟着我们的小敏俊男，跟着他一起做。
来，拉起你的球衣，秀出你的球衣给大家看一下。哎，这个穿球衣是理所当然吧？
是我们的T3跟我们的婷婷。
这个是我们城市版本的天际线版本。Hello， 欢迎来到新庄体育馆，表情没问题 ，OK 的。这个球衣颜色有点不太对，但是娃娃很可爱。哎呦哎，这应该是我们最新款的玫瑰金。现场也有球迷们买各式各样球队球衣，各式各样的球员。Hello， 就是你啦，秀出你的球衣，秀出你胸前的 logo。Hello， 这是我们去年的粉红色版本。Hello， 欢迎来到新庄体育馆。Yes sir， 我们看到你们啦。Hello。
On a Tuesday night, the Kings have put on what is so-called Kings Jersey Day. And so naturally, you and we ought to talk about our favorite Kings jersey. I'm partial to the yellow set because it's the most unique. Quincy Davis sits Xiao Bai as a little trip up on the foul, ends up tripping up more pilots.
I like the dark, the black with the Kings across the front. I like that. I like any kind of uniform that has like a cityscape or something like that on it. I think that looks really nice. And it says the Kings.
Quincy Davis from the top. His line drive is in.
If you leave Quincy open, he's gonna make that shot. And you've got to at least put a body on him to at least challenge him on that shot.
Good start, as he was only 2 for 10 shooting the 3-ball on Friday against the Dreamers. Ball Hunt spinning middle, there's corner 3, overshoots everything.
That's his second miss from that corner right there.
Manigault rifles it to Kyle. They bounce around. JJ's left open. Quincy Davis gets him another possession, but an over-aggressive Calvin. Going to be 2 quick fouls on the Pilots in their early going.
Quincy's going to have to get in on in the paint. He's going to have to get those deep offensive rebounds because they have been not able to get those rebounds as we begin the second quarter.
They're looking for JJ. Now it's Manigault iced on the side, and he's going to be called for steps. Didn't get the dribble down fast enough. Now the Kings have not been very disciplined with the basketball either. They've also had 7 turnovers of their own up to this point in the game. Mostly the out of bounds with dead ball variety as Pauian tries for 3. He hits it. Not really fair to have a 33% big out there, but that's modern basketball for you, and Pauian's joined the mix.
That is definitely modern basketball. Even the bigs are staying outside to shoot.
Bad pass by Calvin, and it's the Kings' turn for a quick counter. Lee Kai-in will aim it up as JJ to Q fakes one out, and thank you very much. Trying to go back door, but the Kings tap it away, and now they have another running opportunity. The Manigault, too strong. Q's in the mix, and this time he grabs another hold of it as Charlie scores down low and forcing the Pilots to call timeout.
Good play by Quincy to hit those boards and then look for the open man underneath the basket as everybody was sort of moving towards that, towards Quincy's ball.
We'll go to another break back after this.
有哪几些球迷呢想要一起参与？麻烦把你们双手举起来好吗？
中场呢，我们会有机会获得 Quincy Davis 的签名球衣，有没有哪一位观众想要让我知道一下，好不好？哇，这个脸太壮了。哎，救你们了，救你们了，要接好。 最后一位有没有 ？Here we go！ 我这个手感不是很好。
Welcome back to the broadcast. Be sure to leave a like on all Plus League streams. It's a little bit of a Kings run in the second quarter to force the Pilots to a timeout. And right now, the biggest difference maker on both ends of the floor is Quincy Davis. Clogging up the middle on defense, and then a couple of offensive rebounds will put a lot of pressure on the Pilots, who you get the sense that they're trying to run, but securing that rebound because they're not going to be great shot blockers or jump in a lot of passing lanes will be trouble for the Pilots.
Yeah, you know, the beginning of the game, the Pilots were really ruling the defensive boards, but then all of a sudden, Quincy came in and got a couple rebounds and just sort of ignited the Kings to play a little bit better. And so the Pilots are going to really have to start blocking out on the defensive end.
Pauian with a pretty uncommon cut there. As Portell free again from the top this time, but way off to the right.
It still amazes me that they keep going to the three and not looking to take it into the paint.
JJ on the down screen will go to the basket, but stuffed. And stuffed again by Calvin. Pilots have numbers if they can run. Pauian. Xiaobai had that one fouled from the side. Right, JJ trying to jump back into the play.
It didn't sound like his teammates were yelling at him that there was a trailer coming up to deflect that pass. Luckily for the Pilots, it was a foul on the pass instead of a turnover.
Now it's Pauian's turn to post up. Trying to find Portell underneath. The hook shot, no. A lot of close misses. As Kenny Manigault can't overcome errors.
They are close misses, but several of them are not high percentage shots that you want to take.
Quincy can't hit as the Pilots track down that rebound. Kind of noticing Jeffrey Ayers at 6'10" is providing quite an obstacle, as this time Quincy Davis is going to start the break. Got a little 4-on-1. The alley to the slam.
Now it's the Kings in transition. Pilots just weren't able to get back and defend that. Manigault with the alley-oop to Quincy.
Again, it's Pauian on the post-up, but looking to pass. Out to Portell, feet set. This time he makes the adjustment.
You live or die by the three. That's the new style of basketball, and they definitely are taking their shot at the threes tonight.
Quincy Davis patient with it. He'll get the putback. We got a little bit extra stuff after the play. The Pilots will just inbound it with three on the bench, ready to come back in. Another Pauian post up. This time, second year Century now guarding. Calvin over to Ayers. He'll try from three. That's no good. Just about 7 minutes to go in the half. Kings up by 8. Stunt at Kyle. Now Hugh looking for an outlet. JJ crashing into a player, and credit to Xiaobai. He's going to get the offensive foul.
That was a good defensive play there by Ethan. He had his feet set. He'll take the charge around the baseline.
Definitely one of those gambling plays because you can easily go the wrong way against you.
Definitely is. JJ was a little bit out of control also on the drive, so that helped in the play call for the referee.
Running a cross screen for Sunny, but he's tied up by Yang Xingzi. He's going to get called for the foul as for some reason Amigo giving some instructions. He had to play power forward a number of minutes with the Dreamers. Get another look at what Amigo saw. Probably also told him, I'm here to redirect the big, so you're going to be that physical.
Right. Maybe just a breakdown of communication there. So I just maybe give him a little word of wisdom.
Oh, look at Pong flying to the rim. And that's going to get a timeout from Coach Marchand, as probably not that happy with the defensive effort on that play particularly. Pong obviously made those threes and somehow becoming a nimble cutting threat. As we stated many times before on the broadcast, he changed his number from 30, now getting down to 15. If we're talking about collegiate competition, he's out of Zhongke Technical University. Not necessarily a UBA powerhouse, but I'm sure the pilots are right now happy to have him. He definitely provides a little bit of leadership, and right now, under Caminos especially, given the free rein to shoot threes. Now, he might not get credit for how stylistic they look with the misses, but certainly the ones he can hit, a big help to the team.
Young, throw to Q on the pass. Chunan screen here.
Yeah, so with the style of play now, with the pilots are doing, they are looking for that three. And if you keep shooting that three, eventually it's going to open up that middle, just like we saw with Pompon. He was able to drive and make that easy layup. There was also some assists there from number 22 that was helping to block out Quincy on that drive. So those opportunities will open up. But once again, you just got to be able to read what the defense is giving you.
And what I notice is the pilots have gone away from playing both imports at the same time. They've been alternating them to the plan that Coach Caminos and the staff want out of their imports. So that's definitely, for them, a good sign. We'll see if it continues for the rest of their game. Pong Chen now leads the team with 8 points to his name. The only player with more, Quincy Davis, his former teammate. He has 9 points on the game, and will be back out on the floor. So as idealistic as both coaches want with the rotation, with still a quarter to go in the season, everybody's trying to stack up those wins.
Yeah, and even with their with the rotations that you have, you still need to save some of your older players and save their energy for the final stretch. And especially if you're playing for the playoffs, also you don't want to go into that section of the season with gassed players.
Yang Xingzi scores underneath on the nice set play by the Kings. They're looking for Hong Han on the post. He has the only local player triple-double in Plus League history as Pong trying to squeeze over the shoulder and somehow gets it to go.
Like you said earlier, going up against his former teammate, they practiced a lot against each other, and he just sort of took it to Quincy and made a off-balance shot almost behind the head.
Quincy again looking for an outlet. 10-9 as they double. Right now, 10-9 also looking, saying, kind of took a shot there.
Yeah.
But you see Li Kaiyan with a nice dime to Xingzi. With a left hand, too. You see Pong, he's known for that baby hook, and I guess he can take it on the road, too, take it on the go.
It's almost a baby hook reverse.
Lee Jiakong is back in to match up against Joe. Crossing over, but losing it for a second. Over to Kyle. He takes the shot and buries it. Looking the other way. Pilots try to counter.
Pilots are pushing the ball up, trying to catch the Kings sleeping, but the Kings are ready.
Xi Jingyao will try to imitate his teammate, but hits the side of the backboard. Amigo behind the back, tripped up, and they call for the whistle. Foul by Xi Jingyao. See Joseph Lin find his backcourt teammate in Li Kaiyan.
That's good court vision right there by Joseph. He knew the shot clock was running out. And on that cut into the lane, he was going to do the kick out. Kick out to Kyle. That's a good look.
Good shot by the Kings. Now the Pilots will go back on offense. Down by 9. Switching out to the right side, he lays it in. Rare occasions where Quincy Davis was not in position. As hook pass, but tipped to a Pilot. Chance for a run now. They're doubling Sakakini. And they whistle as the entire Kings bench, audible from us, trying to get a 3-second call on Sakakini.
Just a little hard foul down there, nothing major, but just trying to keep him out of the paint, keep him from getting the ball. They were looking for him.
It's going to be Shinza and Omar, the front court for the Kings, as Sakakini picked up the dribble. Now get it back. Double, triple, then they whistle. We're going to say it's on Joseph Lin, who was helping.
See the replay.
Came from the middle, or came from the baseline, in fact.
Might have been all ball. It's hard to tell. I think that's what he was saying, was he got all ball on that.
Maybe Mrs. Lin is checking out the replay, sitting courtside nearby. Sakakini switched the first free throw. He and Chen Lihuan, the only two Pilots to make it to the free throw line, and on the King side is just Manny Galt, 1 for 2, and Shinzu 0 for 2. Another make for number 13.
Jackie giving a little hard defense on Joseph, trying to keep him from getting the ball.
Joseph putting it on target as they whistle an offensive foul. Kind of hard to tell where from.
Looked like they had their arms wrapped up together.
There's definitely contact that he's going through. Well, you can only say Jackie gets the credit for keeping his arm in place. I don't know if exactly that's rewarding the defense for good defensive play. Sakakini on the post as they rotate Justin. Pass deflected. And now Jackie called for unsportsmanlike in transition with Manny Galt. And Justin a little bit of extra stuff after.
I don't think Kenny appreciated that foul.
Called an unsportsmanlike, and unless Jackie's arms are another 18 inches longer, it'd be hard to get a clean attempt on the ball.
Yeah, I don't think that was too hard of a foul. Looked like he was just trying to reach in, but looks like as he reached in, his head might have banged into Kenny's, which I might have upset Kennedy a little bit. Cooler heads prevail, and he's able to shoot his free throws.
Makes them both, and possession coming up. Well, Caminos does like to have his rotation of defensive wings. And recently, it's Jackie Li Jiakang out of Guotida. Tipped out of bounds, they say. Amigo the last to touch.
Well, the Kings knew going into this game that the Pilots were going to be defensively strong, and so they're going to be all up in there, all up in them when they have the possession. And so the Kings just need to adjust and react to the defensive pressure from the
quick pass from Ayers, but right to the hands of Joseph Lin. A foul and one as Manigault able to get the shot off. And so they had a turnover on one end, but they convert with another free throw coming up. The Pilots call timeout. It's only a 9-point lead for the Kings, but kind of getting the feeling that they're able to stifle any Pilots offensive game in the half court.
Right. All the Pilots are also helping them by making silly passes that probably shouldn't be made, and so when you come down and have a couple turnovers in a row, it turns that tide a little bit. The Kings start to have a little more confidence.
In their last game against the Steelers, the Pilots turned it over, you could say, only 16 times. And there he goes here. They've already amassed double-digit turnovers.
Yeah, it's, again, reading the defense, and several of the turnovers they've had two defenders they've tried to pass through or a pass that's ill-advised, and so just being a little bit more wise with possession would pay off immensely for the Pilots at this point.
Now, talk about the chippiness. We mentioned before they're playing each other 3 out of the next 4 games. Well, I looked it up on the season. The Lioneers played the Pilots 3 times in 4 games twice, and the similar mentions Pilots versus Lioneers that many times. Let's get a look at some New Taipei China Trust DEA members, including the former Dreamer Jonah Morrison that the Popeyes had, and newest member of the ROC, or Chinese Taipei, Al-Bashir, taking in the game. Now, as I was saying, the Pilots versus the Steelers just finished 3 games in 4 stretch, where the Steelers took every single one of those games. And for the rest of the season, Kings play the Steelers 3 times across week 24 through 26. So a lot more Lin brother matchups in the future. Out of the timeout, the Pilots now down by 10. Ayers over to Jackie, looking for Sakakini. Eagle nearby, he spins baseline, clears enough space, and he gets the bounce.
They do have both imports out on the floor again, and so we'll see how they were able to.
It doesn't help if nobody's there. Big Sushi with the alley-oop. Reaching out, he's got Omar on the mismatch. As Jackie looked to pass before he shot and loses the handle a bit. Sonny trying to convince the ref out of bounds off the Kings, but that is not a good turnover.
No,
you see the other
not.
side, Amigo, good vision and perfect delivery.
As Amigo got the ball on that, 2 defenders came to him, so he knew that somebody was open somewhere, and it just happened to be on that backside. down in the post, and so it was an easy alley-oop to his teammate.
Pull-up jumper from Amigo. He cans it. Now continuing to build on the biggest lead of the game. Sakakini spinning baseline. He gets it. It's even tougher and tougher as it goes, though, because you see 2 or even 3 Kings coming down on Sakakini to help.
Right, they collapse down and to double team or to triple team when he gets the ball in that low post. But he likes to do that spin move down there, so.
Ball on the hardwood, and Sakakini picks it up. Good athleticism by Manigault, making the Pilots take it out of bounds. Now, counting deflections, the Kings are definitely leading in that category.
Well, they've had several tonight already. I imagine they'll continue to have more as the night goes on if the Pilots.
Switching out, we're rolling the 3. Well, now that he's made one, I can mention he was 0 for 5 in the last game. It's got to be a big boost to the captain. Joseph Lin working with space, but leaves it short. He's a left-handed shooter, but it seems like he likes to float with the right better, as Manigault takes the contact and finishes.
That's one of the benefits of being a left-handed shooter that can also go right, because you don't know which arm he's going to go up with on those shots. And so I imagine there are times that people think he's going to go up with the left and he goes to the right and end up fouling him or just not being able to defend.
Switching out over to Calvin, but shy to shoot. Dishes it to Sonny. This is the first time, and here comes Manigault. To Joseph Lin, the floater again, beating the clock. And that'll be the end of the first half with the Kings kind of boat racing the Pilots toward the end. Wanted to go 2-1 without their cornerstone center, and in fact, clinch the playoff spot for themselves. It's a halftime here at Shingon Stadium. We'll be back with our halftime analysis after this.
等一下是轮流丢，那我们先从这个我左前方，OK， 看到你了，看到你，我们的帅哥拿着我们 Davis 50号的这个造型抱着球衣的这位朋友，由你先丢吧，准备好的话就可以往我们的中间的 logo 丢，最接近的话呢就是我们的获胜者哦，来准备好，3，踩线，很好，只能站在我们的角落，3、2、1，投出。有点接近哦。好，现在看到我们左方这位美女，拿的是我们城市版球衣造型造成阿米狗的球衣，来准备，3、2、1。
PLG Tuesday Night Basketball, Game 88 of the 120-game Odyssey we are on. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Darren Portell on the English broadcast, and on the Mandarin side, it's Xiaohu Hu Junqi on the left and Aaron Yang Zhenlei on the right, filling in for our colleagues at Formosa Television. And the first half is in the books, 48 for the home Kings and 37 for the Pilots, playing their second road game of the week, so that definitely presents its own challenges, especially for a Pilot squad, as we mentioned, definitely having their struggles out there. Now, defensively, they seem to be doing okay, but having a lot of turnovers for themselves and creating Kings opportunities on their end of the floor on the fast break.
Right, you know, it's nice to have you to help the turnover, or to commit to force turnovers. But when you're committing turnovers yourself, that sort of balances out something that you really don't want to experience. And so they want to keep applying pressure on the defensive side, but yet on the offensive side, they want to be able to handle the ball and manage the ball a little bit better.
And so far, from what we've observed, Sakakini down low, whether they set cross-swings for him or Pompom attacking on the catch, whether shooting himself or driving to the basket, are kind of the only two offensive highlights for them. Everyone else has not quite found the rhythm or quite found, as they've talked about, their spacing in terms of finding comfortable shots. Meanwhile, the Kings are kind of getting whatever they want at will. They've attacked the basket and have only taken 10 threes, but hit on 4 of them for a very high percentage.
Yeah, you know, Quincy came in and really just started that offensive end, and he was getting some rebounds, and he got a couple of putbacks and a couple of dunks, and so I think that ignited him. And once that started, they just started to really be aggressive on the offensive end and make some shots, and started to drive the ball, drive the hole, also drive to the basket, and get some layup.
Now, as we mentioned before, the Kings are without Byron Mullins or without any second import, but Kenny Manigault and the way they strategize on defense is have him kind of play the rover in the middle of everything defensively, try to get those steals, but also with the Pilots shooting as poorly as they are from the perimeter, that certainly makes it easy to shrink where you want to or expand and take gambles in other places. There's the combined team stats where the Pilots 4 for 14 three-point shooting is not bad, but they have a lot of guys still overs, including carryover from the last game. They're also losing on the rebounding margin. As you pointed out, if they're also giving up offensive rebounds to Q, that's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, you know, not having Byron in there, we thought was going to hurt the Kings, but they've done very well, especially in the second quarter. Now the Pilots are going to have to start getting in there and get their rebounds and, you know, just start playing hard and look to get it down to Sanakini. And, you know, I mean, once he gets the ball, then the other players are going to have to crash the boards.
This.
等值发球员上面的这位朋友是 A3之2H之49的这位朋友 A3之2H之49的这位朋友，等一下呢，麻烦你到我们的 Lululemon 的这个商品部呢去进行一个兑换的动作。记得呢，票根呢千万不要动摇，千万不要动摇。再提醒一次，我们的这位 A3之2H之49的这位朋友要到我们 Lululemon 的主题摊位去换取价值等值8000元的商品。记得哦，一定要去兑换哦，不然呢你就错过这个，好不好？非常好的福利，非常好的机会。
Next week, the Dreamers host the Braves and Steelers at 2:30, and the Kings will host the Pilots and Lioneers at 5 p.m. Be sure to grab Plus League tickets when you can, as we see even more familiar faces, including Harry Jones III, former Brave, and Peter Gashar, who was a former Plus League player that went undrafted. There's the scoring leaders for the Pilots. Sunny Sakakini leading things with 13, Pong Pong with 10, Su Jinyao a 3 and a 2 for a total of 5. So has Calvin, but their leading local scorer, Justin Lutrichang, only with 2 points. Meanwhile, for the Kings side of things, it's Kenny Manigault with 13 points, Quincy Davis 9, Joseph Lin with 7 points. Big Susan Xuan has been able to take advantage for 6 points, and so has his front court mate Yang Xingzi for 4 points. Now, as we mentioned, the Kings are kind of getting whatever they want out there on the offensive end, and one particular thing is how much Joseph Lin or Kyle or even Amigo or Manigault can dribble or get one screen and start creating any opportunities they want. And that's become a problem for the Pilots defense to overcommit to those few players.
Right, you know, when you have those...
That's right. Dining is available to attendees at Plus League games, so come on in and experience for yourself what you can find at Plus League venues. Oh, that's former Lioneer Brendan Dawson, next to former Lioneer Hashim Tabit, next to former Brave, and actually Brave of 2 seasons in Haley Jones there. Now that our student basketball is all over, including the HBL a few weeks ago, and just the other day, the UVA finals are concluded. So the spotlight all on the pro scene, including longtime Chinese Taipei center Quincy Davis, putting in 9 points, and as we mentioned, hit that first 3, getting a few offensive boards, and he's also not afraid to find his teammates either. He's becoming a big threat to the Pilots on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, having to knowing that Quincy can come off the bench and fill in that role, especially with Byron gone for a couple games, is a nice addition or a nice thing for the Kings. And knowing that, you know, when your starters are getting tired, that Quincy can come in and provide that spark that they need to finish out the quarter or even a game.
Well, the Pilots will be making a change. They have Ethan Xiaobai, Pong Pong in as the starters for the second half. The Kings have the same 5 they started the game with. Manigal to Omar on top. He's looking for something on the left side. Migo doing the around the world. Manigal spinning baseline, tough shot. Ethan back to Ayers, wide open for 3, too strong.
Ayers still sticking with that 3 attempt after the high pick and pop.
Migo on the handoff, through to Sushi, nice play, and Ayers swats it away. 8 seconds left though, Kings hang on. Migo from the left corner, doesn't punish the Pilots. Trying to catch a break there.
Yeah, it was a nice block, but unfortunately went right back to Big Sushi.
Bompo handoff to Justin, he'll get it back. And drive on the run. Maybe not the wisest decision. Kind of lucky as the Kings touched it out of bounds.
Looked like he adjusted his shot right at the last moment to avoid the defender's hand, which made it just off enough that he missed that shot. See if he can make it up here on this next possession.
Justin driving, getting around Manigal, but could not finish around Omar.
Even the layups that the Pilots are attempting are being contested by the Kings. They're just not giving up an easy shot at all.
Nico down to Big Sushi, had a little bit of space. At least got it on target. Setting up their offense on the left side, Ayers. Eye out now on the pick and roll. One time it's Pom Pom clearing some space. The hook off target. There's a whistle before we have any scores on the quarter. It's going to be Sijing out with a blocking foul. Only his second. If that's one measure, the Pilots only have 1 player with 2 personals. Not much of a consolation though for being down 11. Manigal right back to Amigo.
But it is a positive knowing that you do have some fouls to give if you need to.
Big Sushi, nice teardrop. As Pom Pom, arms not quite long enough to get in the way of that pass. Justin on the curl, takes it from the free throw line, but it clanks out.
Justin needs to find his range. They're going to need him to make some shots in the stretch to help them out this game.
Amigo can't answer with a mid-range shot of his own. Ethan will try from the left corner. It rolls through.
Well, Ayers has sort of gotten back to where he's dominated the defensive boards again, which is a positive for the Pilots.
Back to a 10-point deficit as Manigault, given a little bit of room, puts it up and in. Manigault continuing to lead the Kings in scoring, now has 15. As Ethan tries to go down the middle, and Aya, look what I found. Bumble showing off some guard skills. Out to Ayers, he'll try again and off to the right. Only a loose ball foul to conclude that possession.
You know, with Manigault only averaging, or not only averaging, but averaging 17 points a game and Byron gone, we're going to see that average go up a little bit, I think. You know, a player like Kenny, he's going to take it upon himself to take a couple extra opportunities to score just to provide those chances for his team, missing a player like Mullins. So, and Manigault's somebody that you can rely on to be smart with the ball also.
Could have been a nice assist, but Sijignon knocks down the three.
Just second on the night, good look. As you said, he had the opportunity to get the assist with the pass, but he took it and took the shot.
Pompo switched on to Amigo as the pass sails out of bounds. Kind of awkward spacing with Big Sushi and Omar on the same side.
Miscommunication there by those two, and so they're going to get Omar out and bring Quincy in. See what kind of spark Quincy can provide again. See if he's able to sort of negate errors on the boards.
Eye out to Ayers. Shot fake going right to the rack and getting the bounce.
He took it right to Quincy.
A nice pass. Big Sushi could not get the handle on it. So it's Manigault to Quincy Davis. Jeffrey Ayers trying to get the charge on the play.
Right there is what we're talking about on reading the defense. He saw that Ayers was going to help out on him, and he was able to drop down that pass to Quincy, who was wide open.
Driving kick action for the Pilots, back to their handoff game. Looking for Ayers. It's going to get touched out of bounds. There's a little extra stuff. Definitely unnecessary. Ayers trying to address the Kings bench.
He was not happy about something.
With our first break of the second half, we'll be back after this.
看哪边？我在这边，我在这边。对对对，来来，里面是有电影票的，好不好？
那里面呢会有我们 Air 新的电影，这部电影呢是在讲怎么样签约到 Michael Jordan 的电影，电影票在里面。我听到了，我只有一只手。哎，这边好了，这边好了。我刚刚找一下泰山高中的朋友。
The Plus League LinkedIn page now publishing weekly the MVP ladder and the Import of the Year ladders if you're out for more Plus League content. Getting a look from the main camera, some of the exchanges, shall we say, as Jeffrey Ayers needed to get guided along back to the pilot's bench. He'll be back out for the start after this timeout. Yes, 4 points and only 2 of 8 shooting. Definitely don't want to start becoming a distraction with regards to non-basketball related things.
Well, that's for sure. You definitely don't want to just sort of encourage the opposing team by talking to their coaches. And so you don't want to instigate anything that could make your opponent catch a little fire, get a little bit of advantage.
Quincy Davis called for the illegal screen, though the Kings trying to ask for a flop on the play. And I could definitely see it both ways. Quincy Davis trying to hold his ground, perhaps, but the way he kind of stepped back.
Right.
And of course, Ethan, not instead of maneuvering around, try to maneuver through Davis. So really a both ways argument. He's attacking the screen, had that one swatted though. No reset in the shot clock, so 6 seconds. Phone call out to Justin. Deep 3 on the way, back iron only. Foul by Ayers as Manigault was getting an angle around him.
Yeah, he knew he was beat. He was just going to try to reach around and hit that ball out of his hand. Most of the time, that's going to be called a foul, though. A little bit of a speed differential there between Ayers and Manigault.
Manigault getting some space on the catch and a nice teardrop once again. Zijin Yao stripped from the side by Manigault. This is the start of a 3-on-1 break. One-handed slam. Joseph Lin to Kenny Manigault. And another timeout on the floor. Not much more you can do but avoid number 55 at all times. That time trying to maneuver around Kenny Manigault, and he's got the good hands and he's showing off the hops too on the other end.
Yeah, that'll change the tide of the game really quickly. Being able to come down on that fast break and put your teammate for the nice alley-oop dunk. That'll get your crowd going and motivate you to play a little bit harder.
Assist to Joseph Lin, who's second on the team with averaging 5.1 on the season. And in tonight's action, number 1 has already got 6 assists on the game. And as a team, they currently have 16 assists. And they have, crucially, only turned it over 2 times in the second half. So kind of leaving the Pilots without anything on that end of the floor.
Yeah, when you can cut down your turnovers and increase your assists, that's definitely a positive to help you win a game that you're playing. So as a coach, you really want to emphasize that as much as you can to decrease those turnovers.
And they already had, waiting to come into the game, is Ken Lington, number 25. See Joseph Lin starting to pile up on his stat sheet. Justin faking one guy out and getting the right-handed layup.
It's a good take by Justin. Get him another basket. Hopefully get him going. He can be give the Pilots more scoring opportunities.
All hands sticking with Amigo as the deflected pass right to Big Sushi. He'll try with a foot on the line. This time Big Sushi's called for the foul in transition, though the same number 4 is doing most of the talking. It's a long stretch without Sonny Sakakini in there.
There it is.
They're trying from 18, but it's halfway down and out. As Linton fighting hard, but the Kings come away with the board. Amigo to Q to run the offense. Quincy Davis finds an opening, and it's Manigault on the front end, delivering to number 50.
Ayers is just not having a presence in the paint. He is just standing there, really not helping out on the defensive side. And so they're really going to have to get him motivated to at least put a hand up or something.
Ethan just slows up the momentum with that mid-range jumper, but on that last play, that was a good counter by the Kings because they always have Quincy Davis tied up by a small, like on that case, Hong Han. Right. But he left Quincy Davis with a lane to the basket. Now Q screens for Joseph, maneuvering right, having to get it out. Hong Han putting pressure on Amigo, forced into a miss. Ayers over to the other side. Ethan attacking on the dribble to Ayers, trying to get the first one. He finally knocks it down, and just a little two clap for himself.
Yeah,
Sakakini ready to check in the game.
I think he's trying to motivate himself because that was his first three-pointer made. Times when I was in a slump, that I would always, once I hit that first shot, it sort of got me going and just sort of try to motivate myself to keep shooting.
Ethan slows it up. Now Hong Han on the post. Justin catch and shoot way off as Ayers flips it to the second row on the sidelines.
Even as badly as what it seemed the Pilots may be playing, they're only down by 8. And so he said if the Kings start come out hot and get on a run, it could be over for the Pilots, but they're hanging in there.
Joseph out to Yang Xingzi, who takes the awkward shot, but referees say it was awkward because of the foul. It's only the third foul on the Pilots on the quarter, but it will result in free throws. Well, what helps is being 3 for 7 shooting the three if you're the Pilots.
Yes. No, missing free throws does not help your cause. Those are the free ones that you've just got to make.
Increasing the arc. Utilizing the backboard. They're going to run their motion offense as Ethan Hong Han on the left 45. And just like that, it's a 6-point game.
Nice little look. And assist by Ethan on the shot.
Kyle with a clutch, but he can't finish as Sakakini throws it down court. Good safety play by Quincy Davis. Joseph Lin turns it over as Pilots had a man up front. Sakakini, though, had it blocked by Joe from behind.
I think they all have a little laugh under there on that blocked shot by Joseph Lin.
And for his reward, he's taken off. He'll head to the bench, but we'll get a couple additional looks at Joseph Lin with the block. I haven't looked it up, but I venture to say he has more than the average guard in the Plus League. No look pass for Hong Han as Ethan swishes the three. Don't look now, but it's down to 3-point lead for the Kings.
This is maybe what the Pilots need, just a couple shots made and a couple stops. And they seem to be pushing the ball up just a little bit quicker.
But Manigault takes it on Calvin. Sakakini, Pauian, going around the world. Finishes with Sakakini missing from close. Linton cannot pick up the loose ball. Under 40 seconds to go. Manigault has put 2 for 1. It's short as the Pilots can't ice the clock yet. But they have done quite a good job after that second timeout. Around 2:28, they made a few substitutions that have been working in their favor. Calvin chased off the spot to the interior, but Ken is blocked. 7 seconds left. Lee Kai-yin has got a few options, but Q taps it away from a teammate. 2-1 as Pauian launches only off the side of the backboard.
That looked like it might have been blocked by Manigault as he was putting up that 3. A little frantic last minute to end this third quarter.
We'll be heading to the 4th and final frame of this one here in Xinzhuang. Stick with us.
球衣的朋友们 ，Hello， 这位穿着我们新美国黄色球衣的朋友 ，Hello， 可以跟我们小敏一起做，跟着我们小敏一起做，把你的球衣拉出来秀出来。Hello， 好久不见，这两位朋友 ，All right。Hello， 这位穿着 Kings 球衣的朋友，把你们球衣拉出来，没错没错 ，Show some love。Hello， 欢迎来到我们新美国王的球场，欢迎来到我们新庄城堡，欢迎我们的小王子来到我们现场啊。Hello， 没错没错，欢迎来到我们的新庄城堡，感谢你来玩。Hello， 两位朋友，穿着我们的这个 Kings 的黄色球衣的这位朋友 ，Hello。Hello， 各位朋友，看着我们10号球衣，哦，好是我们的10位妈妈。Hello， 哇，拿着我们10位的大头板板啊，还有我们的执行长 Bill。Hello， 这两位朋友，跟着我们小敏俊男一起这样做好吗 ？Yeah。哇，这件是我们的选手版城市球衣，在我们的商品部呢，现在全部的球衣都有打折，因为我们今天是球衣主题日。Rowdy， 把你们的球衣秀到给我们的前面的观众朋友看。Yeah， 精彩的比赛第4节准备继续。
Welcome back to the broadcast. Be sure to leave a like on the stream. The Taoyuan Portell Pilots getting ready for the start of the 4th quarter are out first, as in fact some Kaohsiung Athena in the building, and there's, I believe, another Pilots crew member sitting on the 2nd floor. Sunny Sakakini, the import for the Pilots. Kenny Manigault in there for the Kings. One crucial rotation changes, number 22 Pauian and number 25 Linton in there for the Pilots, as Ethan taking the contact. Will have to earn it at the line.
This lineup that they have for the Pilots now finished well in the 3rd quarter, so I think they went ahead and started the 4th quarter with the same guys out there, try to continue on this trend of gaining to get the lead.
One thing that Ethan has struggled is at the free throw line on the season, only a 65% free throw shooter. Other color commentator Kirk Long, a fellow guard, would say, your guards gotta be able to shoot the free throws.
Yes, they do. That's something that if they're struggling, they should be practicing in practice. time after time.
Kings forced to take it close to the jump circle as Li Kaiyan gets a foul on Ling Chen. Reaching in there. Well, the Pilots did not take any free throws in the third quarter, and the Kings only 1 for 2. Probably explains how the quarter went by relatively fast.
Yes.
Kings did 1 for 2 off the glass as Li Kaiyan gets it the traditional way.
With only 6 fouls amongst the 2 for the third quarter, that didn't give them a lot of opportunities for shooting. Unless they generated on a shooting foul, which there wasn't. So
one thing that we did talk about leading into this game is the Kings only lost the rebounding margin against the Dreamers by 1. And in this game, up by 3, but it was a much bigger margin at half.
yes.
Ballheim trying to put the moves on Xinzi, but he loses the handle on it. Ethan having to foul to stop the fast break, and again, a couple early fouls. Didn't hurt them last quarter. Let's see if the Kings can press that advantage.
The Pilots are going to have to keep this score close. They cannot afford to let it get too big where they're going to have to mount a big comeback, especially with the way their shooting percentage is gone. So they have to play really smart and cut down the turnovers and take the best shot that they get.
Utah maneuver for some space as Li Kaiyan will try from mid-range. Drag screen, but Calvin picks up the dribble. Ethan in the left corner this time. He's getting confidence. Back to a 3-point deficit.
After the shot, he landed on the ground, so he might have had just a little bit of a touch or assistance for that to happen.
Too much attention on Manigault, who misses the runner. As this time it's Quincy Davis fouling in transition.
The trailing ref was able to see that reach in on cue.
Another look at Ethan smartly relocating, and Kyle fell asleep on the play. Kind of interesting because Xiaobai and Kyle, both from the city of Taichung. As Sonny powering his way through the entire Kings defense.
He was looking for the foul also. That's just pure muscle putting that up right there. He got hit a couple times. Nice looking play.
And just like that, the Kings requesting a timeout as we will have our last commercial break until the end of regulation. Stick with us. You're watching Plus League Basketball.
请掌声给我们 New Taipei Queens！ 现在比赛已经来到我们第4节，时间呢还有最后的9分56秒，比数65比64。但是没有关系，我们现场的所有的球迷朋友们，我们等一下需要你们。
Just a couple minutes into the fourth quarter, Coach Marchand and the New Taipei Kings staff wanted to talk it over on the sidelines as the Pilots have pulled it to within 1 here in the fourth quarter. They already won the third quarter 21-15 on a rather late flurry of 3-pointers and started this fourth quarter off strong, 6 points to 2. And you can kind of give credit to a lot of people, but Ethan Xiaobai has done a great job, even as just a rookie, but kind of running the show for the Pilots team, and of course knocking down some big threes, even though that's not been a strength of his throughout his amateur career.
Yeah, for him to step up, as you said, as a rookie and be able to hit those important shots, especially in a game like this, is really big. So coming in as a rookie and you hit those shots, it also increases your courage a little bit. So let's see if he's able to continue.
And maybe we might be giving him too much credit, but JJ commits the foul on him in transition. Don't look now, but that's 3 team fouls on the Kings. Of course, if you're Ryan Marchand, you also have Joseph Lin on the bench, probably ready to counter when you find the appropriate time. Quincy Davis challenges Sakakini, and they stay out of bounds off the Pilots as Caminos convinces Sakakini that teammate Lington touched out of bounds, which is probably good for the Pilots, at least to stop the ball. Q on the elbow. Unique spot for him. Getting surrounded by Calvin. They get the switch. With 6 seconds left. It's Ethan stripping, but calling for the foul. Mostly on the hold, the crew chief says. Not so much on the strip. Tough one to take as free throws will be coming up.
Pilots have definitely increased the intensity on the defensive side. That was a close one. Looked like he even dribbled it up into the arms of Ethan.
Well, Kyle Lee Cayenne coming off the bench again, but still a very useful piece for the Kings. Certainly part of the rotation. 9 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 4 assists a game. That's a lot of production coming from a bench player, but of course, he was an all-plus league first teamer last year.
Yeah, it's good to be able to see him come off the bench and produce and know that you have that backup to Joseph whenever Joseph needs a rest.
Talk about some younger player minutes. Number 3 is owning Century 9. He's in there as running low on the clock. Sakakini flips around and misses everything. Got a lot of mismatches everywhere. This time just out of bounds. And they say it's off of a King. Kind of lucky there. Here you see Kyle, the one communicating with the ref after the strip. Looking for Sonny. But Ethan rejects it. Calvin in the corner. He gets a shot off too strong. And this time,
now the Pilots are calling for
both players on the same page. Caminos looks like he'll use his challenge if the referees will get this tension. And in fact, the referees will change the call themselves. So it saves them the challenge. You get to look for yourself as Lington was the guy inside. Q, a little bit of a left wrist flick. Sakakini, though, will dribble it off his own leg.
Just going a little bit too quick and didn't have full possession of that ball. Slow down just a little bit, be sure, then make your move.
Kyle and Q on the double screen. They got the switch. And Xiaomi takes the deep 2. It's all the way down.
Nice little pump fake right there in order to get that defensive man up in the air, and he just took a little step in and had that 2-pointer.
Zijing out, the freshest Pilot in the game. Gets it back to Ethan, but Manigault's all over him. Sakakini bumping JJ out of the way, but the shot just short, leading to a little 2-on-2 for the Kings. referee right on top of it saying he was in bounds as there's a foul, but couldn't get the English. So right now the Kings getting some stops and putting the pressure on the Pilots defense.
So the Pilots seem to be going away from what got them back into this game. So they need to look back and go back to what was working for them at the beginning of this quarter. Don't force the ball, but just be smart. It's still only down by 5. I mean, it's not over by any chance, by any stretch yet.
接着简佑哲 out of Jianxin University, Jianxin Tech from Taoyuan. So when he and Huang Han, which is what's going to happen right now, are matched up, they played together a number of years ago on championship squads. Goes to screen now, approaches Ayao. Right now the center position for the Pilots is not getting any openings. Calvin will try the fadeaway three. Sonny, board, patient with it. No whistle as Lington had it stripped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Pilots.
The second ball that Sonny lost, trying to go up and make a move.
Here, Quincy Davis, the tallest player underneath. Hands off as Manigal gets the easy block. And another stop for the Kings. Up by 6, Manigal fires it to Kyle, to JJ, and there's a whistle. And that'll mean the Kings get to shoot free throws now. So the home team has reversed that foul disadvantage from earlier on the quarter. You see Manigal never quitting on the play. And like I said, the Pilots are not able to take advantage of that center position.
No.
Whether they want to post up Lington or they want him to set a cross screen in. Probably the Pilots think the same thing. They're bringing Ayers and Justin in, sizing down.
In order for that to work, though, you've got to look down there. So if you're not taking that look, you're just relying on the three. It's really not going to help.
They're also not exactly the team to have great dribble penetration and passing. And of course, reasonably speaking, it's a concern with Manigal, always a steal threat on your drivers, if not the point of attack defender.
He is so quick, and you have to know where he is, especially when you are, like you said, when you're driving. And even when you drive and kick, because he can come in, especially if you're playing in that no man's land, he can steal the ball.
Now Shi Jinyao will draw the foul, and Chen Junan unhappy about the call. They did have a foul to give, though I'm sure this is not exactly the time they want to use it. So out of the baseline. Ayers on the block, but just a decoy. So Hong Han. Over to Justin, but it bounces harmless out of bounds. The Kings really blew up that play. They had a red from the beginning.
So the Pilots cannot afford to have these little lapses where they have a couple turnovers in a row.
JJ on the catch and shoot. What a beauty.
That's a nice look on that catch and shoot, man. He went up and elevated, and his form was really nice.
So Camino using another timeout. As we mentioned, the Kings out of that timeout at about 9:56 have now taken the lead in the fourth quarter, and of course lead the game by 10. Listening into the Pilots bench.
Offense, we go away. We go away. Get from the top, and focus now starting open. Okay. Away or run motion. or run motion. Like we cannot stop. Away and motion. Okay? Hey, when we got the chance, go. They call out the paint. Ball out. Take the shot. Take the shot. Let's go, eh? Let's go. Go.
Throw to Q, you're gonna shoot the three. You're gonna be wide open. If you're not wide open, JJ, you get out. Two-man game with Kenny. Okay? 5 minutes, 40 seconds. Earn a playoff spot. Earn it. Earn it. Earn it. Here we go. Together on three. 1, 2, 3.
Some of the local players who stepped up tonight includes Ethan Bialton's 12 points, Pompom's 10 points, and Sijiao's 8 points. And the Pilots will start on offense, but right now, defensively, the way the Kings are playing small, in fact, they're starting to create some problems for the Pilots. They'll bring in Pom-Pom. Justin gets a touch after a long stint on the bench.
The Kings going small means they're going to have some decent shooters in there. And so when the Kings go small, you know that the outside shot is going to be a threat, and you're going to have to defend that.
Justin will step up to the free throw line, a 78% free throw shooter on the season. Too strong on the first. There's plenty of times where a couple free throws early in the fourth quarter is what got him going. So far held to just 4 points. And he makes the adjustment and goes 1 for 2.
Well, the Pilots really need Justin to score every night. And when he's not shooting well, it sort of affects the rest of the team.
Lee Kai-in takes it all the way to the cup. Motion offense for the Pilots as Sijiao spins and dishes. Flinging it up on the catch, and that is an unlucky call against Kyle, but more free throws coming up.
Yeah, that's where you teach a player to keep his feet. Don't go up and try to block that shot. You can put your hand up and be in the shooting lane, be in the shooting, but don't jump.
Well, maybe not the worst play after all, as Sijiao misses his first free throw. The Pilots are 9 of 13, excuse me now. Only a 2 foul shot situation. Quincy Davis given a step over to Manigault. Help comes. Nice cut by Chen. Quincy Davis couldn't finish off the possession. Here come the Pilots.
He wisely pulls it back and waits for the rest of his team to come in. Looking to set up the offense. Adjusting with the ball.
Looking down the airs. He's got Manigault on him, but only a foul can stop him. All hand the Pilot over to the Pilots bench side to talk to Caminos. Is that 6 bounces and in? He gets the first one. His first trip to the line, in fact, tonight.
Those are definitely some friendly rims whenever you get that many bounces in.
And the 87% free throw shooter knocks down 2.
It is nice to have a big who can shoot 87% from the free throw line.
Not to mention, coming into tonight, 41% from 3.
That is true.
They need to play defense, though. Manigault attacking Pompom, who reached. As Kyle tripped up. They're going to get a jump ball out of it. Of course, the Pilots wanted to travel. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Getting another look at Lee Kai-in. Might have tripped up on his own, so They will hang on to possession, though. So kind of works out fairly for both sides.
It's one of those no-call plays. You're just not sure if it's a walk, a travel, a double dribble. What was it?
Manigault will try from 3. It'll be an air ball. Cross between out of bounds and 24 seconds. Under 4 minutes to go. It's Jerry West time. As Ayers right now the subject of some irritation by the Kings as the number 22 referee going to issue a technical, if not 2. We'll see how they sort this out. There's a whistle first, and then the extra stuff.
So they got
the grab. And certainly those arm motions is not what a legal screen is made out of.
I think that was definitely an unnecessary follow through. Made it look like he got bumped. Those arms wouldn't have came up like that, I don't feel like.
From what we saw, it looked like they were going to, at least they issued a double technical, so the free throws will cancel out, but that's kind of some risky business you don't want to be in. Now, as we mentioned, Chen committed the foul first with a hold. Of course, I'm sure basketball players would always argue, like, I didn't know he was going to continue or this or that. I didn't know there'd be a whistle. But that's not exactly an excuse.
No.
In a tight game or not, the referees give a look at the monitor. It might be up to the crew chief to report to the table.
So I guess it's just a double technical and shooting the free throw.
Funny thing is, the referees aren't chasing the teams away from their bench. In fact, they're all around the three-point arc because this is not a timeout. Okay, so thanks to our producers who were assisting with the video replay, the technicals will be rescinded. Definitely a rarity, but not outside of the referee's powers. There'll just be a couple of free throws.
That's an interesting decision. I wonder what made them rescind those technicals. You don't see that very often, as you said. I don't know if I've ever seen it, actually.
And Chen continues to struggle at the line, missing the first one again. You want to get outside of your own element. Trying to force your way on the scoring board. You're given these opportunities, just got to take it as normal. This time an 0 for 2 trip.
Again, those are shots that need to be made. They had to be made.
And bad news for the Pilots. Joseph Lin is in too, and he's fresh. Down to Q. The pass kind of got lost in amongst the hardware on the floor. Pauian will try from 3. It's a swish.
Nice, that's a beautiful shot right there. And he didn't even hesitate. He received the pass, and up it went. He was ready for that one.
And a foul on the perimeter. Pauian try to make it a personal 5-0 run, but it's going to send Joseph Lin to the line.
Well, even though we might have had some tempers earlier, it's nice to see when people from two different teams, they can come together and smile and sort of have that camaraderie among the league. Not necessarily on the team, but in the league.
Found the relatively cold player, sending them to the line. Not necessarily the worst decision right now. Joseph Lin goes 1 for 2. Back to a 6-point lead if you're the Kings. Trying to get a certain defensive matchup on Justin, but they swarm. One man to beat. Joseph Flynn will get the 2 points. You just knew at one point in time they would double team Justin.
Yeah, I think that Caminos is talking about reading the defense.
Yao, open 3 in the corner. Wow, on the extra high rainbow. So they don't exactly lose out on the back and forth. Q over the head, nice find. The center net, he's crashed into. Got to earn it at the line. And that's what you can expect for the rest of the way. Great back and forth. You see Manigault jumping in for the double as the screen was not solid enough to stop Joseph Lin on the back end, but over here, Si Jingyao getting over former teammate in Q. 2 free throws up for the second-year Chen then. He calmly sinks the first. We got a little bit of ice the free throw shooter, which is really fun for the broadcasters. 20 free throws so far in the 4th quarter between the 2 teams. And Chen maybe making a bid for more 4th quarter playing time. You could noticeably think no Amigo so far.
Yeah, I was just wondering that why we've not seen him. When you mentioned earlier who they still had on the bench, I was going to say Amigo, but they still haven't brought him in. I'm not sure why.
Missing the close one, then left hand with the Mikan drill. He scores. Q gives a screen, gets it back. Can only be fouled by Pong Pong, who came in to help. I'll keep on looking in the wrong spot. I was looking for number 30. That's not Pong Pong's number anymore. Davis, 13 points, 10 rebounds. And a free throw made. I got a feeling that the Pilots probably stop almost all the first attacks by the Kings, but I think they're smart enough to counter and find the open man.
Yeah. When you have Joseph out there, Manigault, I mean, all of those guys are really smart basketball IQ, and so they know how to, like you said, that first attempt may not be open, but they're looking for that second opportunity.
Deflected pass as Pauian to Jeffrey Ayers dancing off the rim. Ayao, look at that two-handed putback.
Ayao is starting to come alive in this 4th quarter.
There's an effort play you can't account for as Manigault. Backdoor to Kyle. He's swinging around, not done yet. The teardrop, yes.
Kenny likes that teardrop right there inside the lane, and those are hard to defend and stop.
Closing into about a minute left. 7-point lead for the Kings. Ayers giving a little bit of space to Pauian. He'll launch from 3, and they say a foul from the side. And it's going to be on Kyle Lee Kai-yin, who's, you can give him credit for playing hard, but he's almost anticipating everything faster than he can really react. Got deked into the jump and reached. A little tap on the elbow. And it's kind of hard to argue with pro shooters how Pauian could miss that much, and the referee was right on top of it.
The last 2 fouls Kyle has committed have came off of a screen like that, where he has put his hand up to try to defend the shot. And so he needs to be a little bit smarter when he's coming off those screens, just to go ahead and either let the shot happen or play over the top of the screen.
Yeah, that last one, it was only 2 free throws because they called it for bonus free throws, but he jumped before the shooter even jumped, and so it's hard to get out of that one. 2 for 2 now, 3 for 3. And they forced the Kings to take it out of the baseline. They don't have to foul, but they definitely have to get the stop. Joseph Flynn on the catch.
Need to play smart.
He's gonna go one-on-one. They pass it around. Jeff Ayers get the first up as Quincy Davis slams it home, forcing the Pilots to a timeout, and they're going to need a miracle. Just like we said earlier, they seem to be stopping all the first stuff, but when you get to the third and fourth options, you can't defend enough. Get another look. Jeffrey Ayers coming down from behind Big Sushi, but Quincy Davis, look what I found.
Nobody put a body on Quincy, so he just walked right into the paint and was able to get the rebound and the dunk. So as soon as that shot goes up, you've got to find a man and put your body on and scoop them out.
I want to finish. Chen.
Also on that play, though, Ayers, the man that he was guarding, was up top, so he wasn't able to be down in the paint until after the drive was happening. So they sort of took that spot out also for an opportunity for the Pilots to get that rebound.
So as we could expect, Caminos drawing up a play for a quick three and telling the guys they need a foul with about 30 seconds left. Trying to do the math. I mean, you could squeeze in 5 possessions and even more, but the key thing is you really got to make that first basket to make the Kings sweat. And right now, they're a confident bunch, having to score successfully the last few times down the floor. If you look at the Plus League's website's play-by-play, Quincy Davis with a dunk. Previously, Kenny Manigault with a floater too. So they've scored in 2 consecutive possessions, and add the free throws by Quincy Davis previously. They stopped the first action. Hong Han catch, fake as Ethan from about 30 feet off to the left. Not over yet. Hong Han tries a tough turnaround in and out. Xiaobai flies out of bounds. That might be it. As Sijiao comes in a little late to get the foul, so Kenny Manigault can basically ice the game with 1 free throw now. Well, credit to the Kings. They stopped the first option for the Pilots. And
yeah, they stopped the first. They were able to get the rebound, and then they took it to the corner, and they weren't able to convert on that three from the corner. Seemed like the play broke up quickly on the inbounds pass, and so they weren't able to necessarily run the play they wanted to run.
Kenny Manigault leading the game with 25 points after 2 made free throws. Pretty sickly cosmetic time. Ayers short with this last 3 as the timer counts down. Kings notching a win at home. And if you've been watching the whole broadcast, they have clinched a spot in the Plus League playoffs, with, of course, their seeding to be determined and the other 3 teams in the participation of the postseason still to be determined. But this is going to be a huge win, considering, as we mentioned, without Byron Mullins for we don't know how much longer, but getting 1 goal taken care of has got to feel good for the home team.
Yeah, you know, being able to win tonight and get that at least a seed in an opportunity to play in the tournament is a big thing. When you don't have Byron, but you have other guys that are stepping up, you know, that's pretty important. And I know the coach was stressing that to have some of the young guys come in and play well and step up, and I think they did that tonight.
Stick around for our post-game coverage where a player or a coach with typically the victorious team will have our post-game interview. Thank you for watching the broadcast, of course. And we only have 1 more Tuesday night basketball game left on the Plus League schedule. Of course, it's been a lot of fun to include some weeknight games in our rotation, as Kenny Manigault dapping up some of the fans before heading into the tunnel, to be joined later by Joseph Lin, who's getting set up right now with a microphone and the headset right around center court. There he is. It's Joseph Lin.
你好，你好。
Asked about the defense of the Kings getting 17 steals. including the block shot. So.
就是我们没有无人式的时候，我们要靠防守比较多。防守做得好，我们就会有机会可以赢球。
Joseph Lin shares that without Mullins, they need to tighten up on the defensive end. That's what they were able to do. Now asked about getting to participate in the playoffs now as a King.
就要维持我们的状态，因为今年的球季比较长，所以比较长可能会比较累，然后可能会体能下滑，所以就一直保持就好。
Joe sharing that it's a longer season, so trying to maintain health and maintain good form throughout the season won't be easy, but they're trying to do it.
基本上看 NBA 非常少，我没有可能一个手可以数出来吧。对啊，所以 很少。还好，因为我现在已经看很多了，因为我跟在 NBA 的时候我们就看很多，所以我可能看够了。
Joseph Lin saying that now as a pro player he doesn't watch much NBA, but they don't want to change that habit now that they're headed toward the playoffs. Joseph Lin, of course, a two-time champ with the Taipei Fubon Braves. And of course, Mrs. Lin nearby, gotta get a photo in as we wrap things up after this commercial break from Xinzhuang. Tonight, the new Taipei Kings are victorious over the Pauian Pilots, able to clinch a spot in the third season Plus League playoffs. They'll get to host more games over the weekend, including the Taoyuan Pilots 3 out of the next 4 games after, including tonight's, of course. But down in Taichung, the Dreamers will have another homestand, starting with the Braves on Saturday afternoon at 2:30. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Darren Portell on the English broadcast, and of course the fourth quarter, you got a feeling that the Kings even needed to make a turnaround on the game's flow. They ended up winning 24-17. Well, you know, those are big numbers, but they shot a decent percentage of the free throw line and they executed the defensive game plan like they talked about.
Yeah, the Pilots started fourth quarter strong, but then, you know, the Kings just sort of kicked it in, and as we were talking about earlier, they didn't even use Amigo. And so, you know, that's scary to think that they still have that option to come off the bench. And, you know, the Pilots now are playing for a position in playoffs, and they're really going to have to kick it into gear in order to maintain a good spot in the seeding.
On behalf of the 6 teams in the league and league operations, we thank you for watching. Darren, it's a nice time again. We'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, thank you, Ryan. See you guys next time.